gridlock. They wanted to control government, not let it grow like a cancer. Darrel, I want to go to a bunch of calls and get into other issues, but tell people about 10 and Win. You've now had the contest.
Yeah, Friday the 13th was the date we gave away the $20,000. And get this, you know how many calls it took me? One. Just one call. I'm shocked. If I was a betting man, I would have lost because I would have told you probably to take 20, 30, 40, 50 calls. But the very first woman, Beth Morse, hello, Beth, if you're listening, on the very first call, named all 10 commandments in 17.5 seconds. She won $20,000. And to answer the two most common questions that I'm asked about this, am I going to do it again? God willing, yeah, next year we'll do it again. I can't say exactly when, but it was successful. It was wonderful. It was fun. It was just such a privilege and an honor and a pleasure to be a blessing to somebody. This woman had multiple sclerosis, had just lost her car. Her husband hadn't worked for 2 years. I mean, we all know Ohio.
Wow, what a blessing for her.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that was the person you randomly called.
Yeah, just, we had a computer generate, a name based on the people who had registered in the database, and we did it all live. There's a video. If you'll just go to Prayer Stop at YouTube, or actually just go to thegreatnews.com, and right on the front page, you can watch the 10-minute video we did of the call with the winner. It was just such a blessing to even be a part of it. But
I haven't seen the video. Does it start right at the beginning?
It's probably in the middle of the call. I do a little preemptive stuff to tell people.
Guys, cue it up to when he calls her.
Yeah.
Cue it up.
Yeah, it'll take about 20 seconds.
Where do people go?
Thegreatnews.com. The video's right on the front page.
You got so many sites. And you've also given us youdonews.com. We've been so busy, we haven't really done anything with it. People are uploading videos, they're getting posted, but we're going to be expanding that and using the great site you built for us.
Yeah, and it's going to be powerful. In fact, I believe God's going to use it in a mighty way, Alex, to be that platform, that voice of the people. We're
going to do it. I promise. You built it. You gave it to us. We're so limited on staff and there's stuff going on, and the guys need that 2-hour-long coffee breaks. I'm just joking. We're going to, no. I've actually probably have to hire somebody just to manage that site alone because it's going to be such a great site. It is a great site. youdonews.com. Fire out some of the other sites.
Well, the brand new thing, that's to answer the second question. Darrel, what are you going to do now? What are you doing next? And the big thing I'm doing now is a brand new ministry that we call Prayer Stop. It's real simple, it's straightforward, and very effective, but inexpensive outreach for churches and ministries. I mean, come on, let's think about it. With the economy and all the loss of...
You're the guy that pioneered, you come in and get a free T-shirt or a gift card at the H-E-B or at the Safeway if they'll sign up for a newspaper.
Right. If you've ever seen a guy in a store, retail or grocery store, at a show, a fair, a festival event, hawking newspapers, trying to get you to sign up for a subscription, give you a free gift card or a T-shirt or, something... in exchange for a new sign-up for a subscription. I started that about 20 years ago, and now I'm taking that same concept to the streets, and we're going to set up what we call prayer stops. They're little portable kiosks that people can take wherever they go. They can set them up at bus stops or train stops. They can set them up at the post office, out on the crosswalk in front of the school. They may not let people pray in school, but we can set up a prayer stop right on the street corner outside that school and start praying for those kids. Look, the Bible's clear on this. If my people who are called by my name would humble themselves and turn from their wicked ways, I would hear their prayers from heaven and I would heal their land. So our hope and our faith isn't in politics. We can't trust politics. They're constantly lying and cheating and stealing and manipulating.
But if you change people individually.
That's it. Our hope is in God working in the hearts, minds, and lives of men and women. People, because look, real, true Christians, people like you and me, not false Christians, not pretenders, but contenders, will stand up for righteousness. Like Paul said, they'll have nothing to do with the evil deeds done in darkness. They'll expose them. And that's what good Christians do. They can't stand to be around tyranny. They can't stand evil. They will stand up for what's good and what's true and what's right.
Well, I don't even claim to be a good Christian. I'm actually, ashamed of a lot of things I've done, bad thoughts I have and things, but at least I have a conscience. So many other people, I think being good is just even having being aware. Well, most people aren't even concerned.
Well, you're alluding to some more of the end times prophecies where they talked about seared consciences, where people's conscience would just disappear. And finally, they'd be so evil, so wicked that God would finally turn them over to do what ought not to be done. They'd reach a point of no return. They'd hit the edge.
Is that the ultimate sin?
No, that would be the blasphemy of the Holy Spirit. It'd be the only sin that, according to the Bible, that can't be forgiven.
And what is that?
Well, technically, it's to say, well, I have no belief whatsoever in that Jesus Christ was the Son of God, or that the Holy Spirit exists, that power of God, that Spirit of God can indwell men.
But does that only happen if it's coming down on you and then you refuse it?
Well, I don't know. I don't like to get into all that theology and semantics because I'm not God. So
that's pretty heavy stuff, though.
It is. It's about as deep theological of a thinking as you can probably get. And everybody has their own personal perspectives and views on those kind of things. I know God and Jesus holds the keys to heaven and hell. And, hey, I've surrendered to the foot of that cross. I've said I'm sorry for my sins. I've lied. I've cheated. I've stolen. I've done bad things. I mean, let's face it. We all have a sense of justice. That's why you every day are on air combating the evil and the wickedness and the tyranny in the world. Because
now, what's the Bible passage about if somebody says there is no truth, run from them? I mean, people know there's a truth. People know there's
we know. In fact, the word conscience, con means with, science means knowledge, with knowledge, conscience. So every time we lie or steal or lust or get angry or whatever without cause, we know it's wrong. We know in our hearts it's wrong. And that's why no man will be with an excuse on the day they die and they stand before God. They can't say, oh, God, I'm so sorry. It was wrong. I didn't know it was wrong to lie. I didn't know it was wrong to steal. I didn't know it was wrong to do these things. No, we know right from wrong. Even in the deepest, most darkest jungles of Africa, people inherently know it's wrong to sleep with another man's wife. It's wrong to steal from your neighbor. It's wrong to kill somebody. In fact, people that live in a cannibalistic society have to be taught. They have to be brainwashed. Same thing we do with our soldiers, right? We train them. We send them to boot camp, and we kill the conscience, cremation of care, if you will. We kill the conscience so that then they can go and do the things that evil men do without having to be convicted by that conscience. So, yeah, your conscience is a good thing, and you ought to listen to it more often. If everybody would, maybe they'd be a little more kinder.
But going off the Ten Commandments, it's thou shalt not murder is the real, I mean, defending yourself is okay.
No, self-defense is not murder. There's a big difference between thou shalt not kill, which is the most commonly way it's quoted.
And that's why defensive war is the only good war.
That's right. That's why our forefathers knew that. We were never to go out and invade other countries and station ourselves in those countries. No. If attacked, we had the proper right to defend ourselves and defend our liberty, our freedom, our country.
And then it feels good.
It does feel good.
But it would feel horrible to go out and just start bullying somebody.
No, and in fact, unless you're weak. You know, the biggest bullies in school are usually the biggest cowards. And once they get knocked down on their butt, they give up quickly. And it's the same thing with this very, very vocal minority within this country. If the majority, the people that outnumber, the people they're supposedly serving, would finally wake up, rise up, speak up, never shut up or give up, man, this whole country could change like that.
But the New World Order's been very good with all these glitter bug fake preachers to make everything look bad.
Hey, man, they just keep dangling stuff in front of the left hand. They know, Satan knows, his whole system has been set up on the 10th commandment, thou shalt not covet. See, the first of all 10 commandments you always break is thou shalt not covet. Before you steal, you'll covet the item you take. Before you lie, you'll covet your own self-preservation and not paying the consequences of telling the truth and so on. We always covet first. We look at the neighbor's house, their car, their wife, their things. We say, I want that. And we'll sell our souls to get it. And the system knows that. Those who worship...
Well, I mean, I commit a lot of sins and I'm very worldly, but ever since I was a little kid, the one good thing I'm strong at is I don't covet. I'm not that envious of a person. You know, somebody's got a beautiful wife, girlfriend, nice house. I'm happy for them. I never realized how powerful coveting and envy was with the general public. They're like ravenous with it.
Well, and then it leads to idolatry, right? That's why, you know, American Idol's the number one show on television today, because they see that and say, I want that for me. I want to be the celebrity. I want to be the star. I want to be the center of attention. Me.
And to be clear, I'm not saying having nice things is bad. But no. We're saying putting it up there as the idol, worshiping it.
It's okay to own stuff. Just don't let the stuff own you. There's a big difference between the two.
Exactly. Like, I wouldn't do anything immoral for something. I wouldn't cheat anyone for something. Like, I have all these enemies who I could destroy, who I know information about. And a few times, even trying to defend myself, I've almost burned them, and I can't make myself even do that. And I don't understand that rule where even though the worldly it seems right, I just can't do it.
Well, it's funny you allude to that, because that's exactly the culture that we're living in today. If it feels good, if it feels right, do it. It's okay. And that stems from Aleister Crowley's Book of the Law. The most wicked and evil man of his day said there's only one law, and it's polar opposite of God's law, and that's do what thou will. Do what thou will should be the whole of the law. If you want to separate a country, a person from God, the fastest way to do it is to get them to do their own will. When you forget God's will for your life and for this world and for this planet, and you start to do your own will, do whatever you want to do, it'll ultimately lead to evil.
All right, I want to talk to Brad Keith.